This is the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Welcome to 2019. This week, we'll take a quick look back at 2018 like we usually do about this time of year, and we will outline our predictions in detail for 2019. We'll also look back at what our 2018 predictions were at the beginning of 2018 and see how many of them we got right and wrong. This broadcast, Astromech, today is EPC 273. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, Max. Happy 2019.
Happy 2019.
Yes. 2018 actually was a pretty cool year for me, and I'm happy about things to come in 2019 for sure. It's been sort of SWTOR light for me the last week or two because of the holidays and friends and family. We been pretty involved in real life stuff, but looking forward to getting back into the OSA story and also getting back into Conquest, because this week we are kicking off 2019 Conquest with a pretty fun week of Total Galactic War, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what we've been doing. We're recording this week on Thursday night because Tuesday would have been New Year's Day, but we just finished our own Ops night, Lords of Light, and we did story mode Scum and Villainy for Conquest points. So that was a good kickoff for me, and I enjoyed it. It was a fun night. Plus, I got a lot of points. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, we got a lot of points, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So yes, I am doing all those same things. I really took it easy, coasted through the last week and a half, mostly from work. I was off of work for a week there at the end of the year between the two holidays, which was very nice. Kids were in town. My daughter was up from college. My son was out from the city. He only lives downtown Chicago. Just came out for a couple days. We all hung out. We watched a lot of movies. We did a bunch of stuff, but I definitely took it easy. Did a little bit of Star Wars stuff here and there. Definitely keeping my master crystals from OSIS flowing. So I'm one character on each side. So my main on this Vanguard on the Republic side, my mercenary on the Imperial side. I'm making sure I hit all of the reasonable ways to get master crystals. I'm only spending 500 unassembled components on each of those characters, and then doing the weekly stuff that you get it from. I'm not doing master mode custom machine. I'm not doing ranked PvP, but you can just kill the world bosses last couple weeks instead of either or doing ranked PvP. So there were options there.
Why did they fix the bug with the world bosses where you had to leave group?
Yes. We've seen it glitch out like once out of 4 fights. It did glitch out once where nobody got credit, or maybe like 4 people in the whole ops got credit, or nobody got credit. Otherwise it seems to be working just fine. So yes, I would definitely, it's not too bad jumping in a world boss group. Most of the time, everybody's got those fights down now. You definitely want every slot filled and everybody paying attention. The robot boss, it's easy for people to die because they don't realize you don't have to even step out of the red circles that appear on your feet. Just don't put them on one of those fuel cells. The fuel cells, putting a red circle on a fuel cell is what kills people. Because then it makes this big, huge AoE that kills anybody that's in that radius. Otherwise, just drop the red circle away from the fuel cells. You can stand in it. You don't have to worry about it. And then the other boss is super easy. Put the boss against the wall, and then everybody. We were joking during before the show, doing a little Rick and Morty impression there. I typed in my Rick and Morty. I even typed in Morty when I explained the fight. I said, "Everybody's got to get way up in the boss's butt, Morty, way up there." That's what I typed in. And
did anyone respond?
No, nobody did. But somebody had to get it. But that's what you got to do. Just puts the boss against the wall. You have to sidestep out of the spit once in a while. Then everybody else, nobody stay ranged. Everybody get in the boss's butt. And then all of the ads will just flow right up to you, right to the boss's butt. You get AoE on the boss and on the ads. You'll wipe them out. And and they all die. So
here's what I heard out of all that. Max said to stand in the red.
In the robot fight, it doesn't matter. It's the one time where those circles don't damage you unless you put it on a fuel cell. And then it's not just the red circle. It's a big purple blast that goes out.
But I'm going to expand the meaning of your saying, because knowledge is big.
Get in up in the butt. Just up in the butt. And then why did I have my throne of lies available here?
Yes.
If you're watching the podcast, because CXP crates, right? Command crates. You're supposed to be able to open them if they're tier 3 or tier 4 and have a chance of getting 252 or 258 of those artifact crates that you then open, get a random piece out of. I've probably opened on my mercenary. I saved a bunch of the tokens. We had double XP, double CXP. I probably opened at least 40 crates. Maybe not that. Maybe only. No, it had to be at least 40 over the past week and a half. Zero of anything 252, 258. And I've asked around. So here, chat room. Anyone in the chat room, have you opened a command crate and gotten a 252 or 258 artifact gear container?
And he has asked around. I mean, it'd be like, Merry Christmas, Max. Oh, hi, Merry Christmas. Did you get any 258 gear in the cache?
One person in Discord said they heard of someone else getting one, but so third hand, maybe somebody did. I've seen no crystals, and I've seen no 252, 258. Ooh, Jay Musselman says yes. So one person says yes. I don't know. I think it's a lie. So
screenshot.
Pixar didn't happen. So maybe it's still possible, but that drop rate is real low. In fact, I lost out on. I probably would have had my mercenary, my marauder, at command rank 300, which is one of the classes that I don't have at command rank 300 yet. But instead, I wasted all of those command XP packs on my mercenary to try to get some extra gear, which I did not get. So that's what I've been doing.
My Sith Warrior is in the high 200s due to lots and lots of snowballs.
Yes, that's right. The snowballs are over. So let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the news, which is barely anything, but we've got a little bit to kick off 2019.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
So one post up in the dev tracker from Eric. He says, for starters, Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you, Eric. Happy New Year to you, buddy. At some point, PV Team is likely to start working on a new arena map. Okay, so this is arena map. So this is 4v4, the 4v4 arenas. There's a thread out there. Check it out. Talk about what arena maps are your favorite and why. They want to sort of get a poll going. They want to get some of that, get a view of what people like out of their arenas when they fight in those arenas. Be as specific as possible. Provide your input, and maybe they'll take that into account when they build the next arena. Arenas are not all that interesting to me because I don't do ranked, and when I do PvP, they do come up once in a while, but they're less fun for me than doing the regular 8v8 the war zones. But more maps, more arena maps is fine, especially for the people that are doing ranked. Having a little bit of variety in those arenas is definitely fun. So there's that. That's about it for game news. We expect to hear more things in the coming weeks, but that's about it for game. But we have a little bit of guild news, don't we, Seema? What do we got there in the guild news there, Seema?
So January Mega is going to be a GSF with training wheels, and Marcus and Lucy are going to be putting that on Saturday, January the 19th, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be open to anyone who wants to join. Don't have to be in the guild, just be on the server. And the intent is to learn how to move your ship, how to play GSF in a friendly and supportive atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Like it won't be random people on the other side. It'll be everyone will be part of the event, both sides.
Right, because we have this new ability that's in the game, which we haven't even tried out yet, which I keep forgetting to try out, which is group v group challenge.
Yeah.
So when you queue up for a PvP match, you can do group PvP, PvP group challenge. I wonder for GSF how big the group can be.
Yep. There's some details we have to figure out, but I feel like Marcus and Lucy will get that handled between now and the 19th.
Yeah. So what we're hoping is, and this is what we're going to have to check, is we should be able to do a group v group challenge. We'd like to get then groups getting into the GSF map and not shoot anybody to start. Get everybody a chance to learn to fly their ships, get everybody a chance to tour the map and see what it looks like, how it works. I'm really hoping that that we'll be able to do it that way and make it work. So we'll do some testing and hopefully get that going. So Zen, no, that has not been tested yet, and that's what we're going to have to do. So it will definitely. I know it's. I can see it right here for the PvP challenge for regular PvP. Oh, here it is for Starfighter group PvP challenge.
Nice.
No, it doesn't say. No, maybe when we'll have to test it. We'll have to test it. There we go. And certainly shout out to the chat room. All of 2018 into 2019. Thank you very much, chat room. It's been spectacular having you guys supporting us through all of this.
Indeed.
We do get codes once in a while from Eric and from BioWare. We did have a 30-day subcode, which we'll be giving away tonight as sort of celebration. You guys are great supporters of us, helping me get everything worked out on my new build here, my new PC reinstall of Windows and all of my PC and recording equipment. So this has been awesome to have you with us all throughout 2018 into 2019. I hope you stick around. And I was thinking in this part, another sort of shout out. I figured I would give a shout out to SEMA. It's been like this is our 6th annual 2019. This is our 6th annual prediction show. Can you believe that? Man,
something wrong with the world.
Something dark side, something complete.
Something.
So let's get to it. Let's talk about the past and the future.
Difficult to see. Always in motion is the future.
Yes, the future is always in motion, but I think we're going to start out with a retrospective of 2018. We very rarely take a week off. We did last week because it was just so crazy having Christmas fall on our podcasting day, and then people, family stuff all throughout the week. So we're going to do a quick run through of 2018, which we often do at the last podcast of December. So I'm going to kick it off with what we saw in January. January was easy. We got a teaser for the roadmap that was supposed to come there in January, which we did not end up getting in January, but we got a teaser, and we got update 5.7. So we did get an update kicking us off in January, and that was Skyva. And so remember, they were adding the bosses to Gods of the Machine.
Yes.
And a return of companions. And they switched those companions over. Some of those companions that were coming back, even through most of 2018, switch over to that model of being class specific. So it wasn't, again, where everybody gets the companion. A couple of those did show up, but these were Risha, Corso, and Andronikos, and they were class specific. So that was January.
In February, we had a partial roadmap. We gave like a 90-day roadmap. The announcements of 5.8 and 5.9, which included Isaac's Conquest updates, Anathema Flashpoint, and more companions.
Yeah, Anathema. I was just talking about that today. When I was writing this, when I was putting this together, I started remembering some of the things that have been put in the game that I sort of forgot. And I did a couple times and wished I had done more. Caparo, the whole Anathema story and the traitor story, the what's the one with the train? It starts with an O, doesn't it? It's not Osis. Is that Capero?
Umbara.
Is that
Umbara?
Yeah, Umbara, Capero. There's some good stuff there. I wish it was Ops. If it was Ops, we'd be doing it on Tuesday nights and on our Ops nights.
Right.
So it's because it was sort of the Flashpointy kind of stuff. It is less repeatable for us.
Yes.
We're going to have to think about that. And when we get an opportunity, like when you have to do 3 Master Mode Flashpoints or whatever, we should go do a Capero or an Umbara. We should do that, Zima. Okay. In March, we got the Compendium Vendor, which I have taken advantage of. And that's the thing where you can buy the level 50 companion boost and influence boost for your companions. I have done a couple of those. I think that was a useful addition to the game. We did get a live stream on coming updates, and that was one of the live stream in March was when I think it was the first time we got to see Matt Pusevich in a live stream, part of the stream. It wasn't the one later in the year where he was making everybody eat Swedish fish. But yeah, it was good to see Matt there. 5.8 ended up going live with a bunch of conquest changes. So that was when they started that whole bunch of the updates to conquest. So that started in February. They made a bunch more updates in March. They reverted some of the changes they made in February. They lowered the guild target. They lowered the personal targets. They wanted to go back on some of the initial changes that they made. And a bunch of those continued to be tweaked throughout the year, really all the way up until 5.10. So, it continued to change. Then
in April, we had our newest augment tier announced for 5.9, and then they also continued some tweaking of conquest, refining. That was pretty much it for April.
Yep, continued to do those tweaks. I got this for the holidays. I got a new water bottle for my desk here. It locks and it's leak proof. It's very nice. Nalgene. Little diversion there. In May, we got 5.9. That was Nathema Conspiracy. That was the end of the traitor storyline. Spoilers: the traitor was what's his name? Hair gel boy.
Darren Sean.
Darren Sean. So I believe you got a chance to did you get a chance to kill? I don't think anybody could kill Theron, but you could kick him out of the alliance and tell him you didn't want to see his face again, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think anybody could kill him. So that was fun. Getting that storyline completed. A couple new companions, Felix, Akavi, Mako. They showed up. I don't know if I ended up getting Mako back on my mercenary. Did you get Mako back on any of your mercenaries?
No, I did not. But then I'm not a Mako worshiper like many male players are.
The whole companion stuff, I was actually looking at my companion list. I know I sided with the Republic on my Vanguard here, but I didn't I don't have Alara back. Is that just a bug, or did I do something wrong on my Vanguard? Because same thing, Alara Dorn is an unavailable companion. Because I should have Alara back, I believe, because she should have come back with
Chat room says you can kill Theron Sean. That's incredible to me, but kill. Okay.
See, that's terrible.
See, that's one of my wishes. Okay. Anyway.
We had long talks about that in 2018. That's also on the list for what happened in 2018. We had long talks about the Schrodinger's universe that we're in. So there's that. And was that it in May? Oh, no, we got Felix, Akavia, Mako. We got the new augments. So we got the newest tier of augments, which are painful to create, very expensive, and nobody's really bothering to upgrade to those augments. But especially with the idea of Master Mode Gods from the Machine, those augments are interesting and useful to Nightmare Mode players. And finally, in May, we got the Nightlife event back. And that is going to feed into one of my wishes or predictions for 2019. But we had the Nightlife event back. That's May.
In June, we had the start of the Summer of PvP, or the updates were announced anyway, and design work being in progress in June.
Yep. So they were doing a bunch of the creation with the tweaks to PvP and the creation of the new. They started working on the new hut ball. They put a bunch of stuff on the PTS. The biggest thing that we were testing then in July on the PTS was the Rishi Stronghold. And Rishi Stronghold is another thing that we've underutilized. We wanted to do a little bit more with it. We did one pretty fun guild event in there, and we did some podcasting from there. I haven't been paying too much attention. I should do some looking around across the community and see if there have been any player-run PvP tournaments in that Rishi Stronghold, like server-wide PvP tournaments on any of the server, or if those are being held on a regular basis, because it's ideally designed for that. I was hoping to see that kind of thing happen, and I wanted to get in there and at least spectate one of those. So yeah, that was July, and we had fun being on the PTS there in July, testing out that Rishi Stronghold.
Yeah, we did. That was fun. Then in August, we had 5.9.2 Galactic Legend update with the Rishi Stronghold, some PvP stuff, lots of PvP stuff. But yeah, big for us was the Rishi Stronghold with the internal PvP stuff.
Yes. Yeah, we got to get on there. We did a podcast early from the PTS there, got to show it off. And that's, so when it was on the PTS, that was before they had the viewing area up on the upper deck, on the sun deck. And I hacked my way by jumping on a whole bunch of crates and stacking out decorations to get up on top of there, and was convinced that because I got up on top of there and showed off some screenshots, that's why they made the viewing area up on top of the canopy on the other side. In August, September. We're on to September. We got development and testing of Vanden Hutball. It was not released in September, but we got the Vanden Hutball being created, a bunch of development going on. That was on PTS for a while, and we did get on the PTS and did a bunch of playthrough on the Vanden Hutball, which was pretty interesting. Which led us to October.
We did get Vanden Hutball, along with update 5.9.3 and the announcement of 5.10, which is our most current content update.
Yes. And that then led us through into November, which was a lot of testing of 5.10, including the guild changes, which we were testing out on the PTS. And the other thing that we tested out on the PTS is we at least only tested the changes to story mode, Gods from the Machine. And then hopefully there were some of the more skilled people testing out the master mode Gods from the Machine that was being implemented in very fun ways. But remember, Matt did tweak story mode a little bit. Veteran mode, Gods from the Machine was tweaked even more, because especially the Isaacs fight was tuned back so that master mode stretched into sort of partially where veteran was, and things,
to make
things got tuned
a division between veteran and master mode.
Yeah, exactly. And then that led us into where we are pretty much now, right?
Yeah. Then we came to December, where we actually got 5.10, which included Osis, the new daily area, the new masterwork gear, which Max was talking about earlier, that to keep his progress going with crystals. and the actual updates to Gods from the Machine that we had been testing on the PTS in November.
So pretty good year for the game. We had a bunch of updates, probably not as much as we would have wanted. We did get a completion and refresh of a major operation. And by refresh, I mean we got the master mode added on by the end of the year, which we didn't initially expect. I would have liked another operation. So, I think hopefully we'll be getting more of those in 2019, and hopefully it'll be more than one. I'd like more than one operation published per year. But we got a bunch of story. We got some flashpoints. We got pretty significant story. We got a lot of PvP updates. So hopefully that summer of PvP, which was the target there, was fun and useful for everybody this year. And now hopefully we can take a lot of 2019 and shift it back to the MMO bits and see how that goes. So what about the guild stuff, Seema? We had a pretty good guild update too. You put this together for our AIE podcast, which happens once every couple weeks with our AIE podcast crew, didn't you?
Yeah, so we updated the rest of AIE on what happened in SWTOR in 2018, and we started the year off with the last of 2017's snowballs on Narshada. We actually participated as a guild to get all of our operations teams a chance to down Isaac. And what I mean by that is we killed as many bosses in the operation as we could, so that each team could get the lockout for Isaac's, so that they could have multiple attempts at it. Because otherwise, it all of our teams right now meet one night a week. So one night a week is it's tough to get all the way to Isaac's and then get some good work on him. So and then all of our operations teams got a chance to down him and did down him. And we got a new podcast, Working Class Nerds, hosted by Marcus and Nick. We also had a pretty good year for guild growth. And we moved our Tuesday night MFN focus. We were doing 2 weeks on the imp side, and then a week on pub side, and then 2 weeks on the imp side. Then we switched to doing week by week. So 1 week imp, 1 week pub, back and forth, because our pub side grew appreciably. We also got 4 new officers this year: Dent, Marcus, Zen, and BC. And if you've listened to any of our podcasts, you probably know all those names. Marcus runs Mega, and he ran his first one starting in June. As well as he does a ton of other things. He runs an ops team. He runs the Working Class Nerd together with Nick. He also instigated an event last year called SWTOR Unite, which was a raid night of all SWTOR podcasters, which was pretty hilarious. I forgot about that. Another of our new officers, BC or B. Kavanaugh, created and published and maintained a conquest calculator spreadsheet, which helps guildies and anyone else plan out their conquest activities. So you can use the spreadsheet and say, okay, well, what if I do Black Hole dailies every day on my mercenary? How many points will that get me to my personal target? Or what else would I need to do to get to my personal target? Dent started Flashpoint Fridays, which is a casual sort of pop-up event for running small group content. So it's Flashpoint Fridays, like a flash mob. And then Zen, who's kind of the shepherd of Conquest for our guild right now, he continues to keep mats flowing. So we usually have mats in the guild bank so that everyone can make invasion forces. And in some weeks, you can make your personal target just by making an invasion force every week. So always check in the guild bank is what you learn for that. Okay. We also, like we mentioned in the monthly thing, we also spent quite a bit of time on public test servers, maxing out our characters by hitting the button and their gear and killing bosses. We also conquered Balmora last year in a conquest week. So that was a fun thing. I think I still have Conqueror Balmora as a title on my mercenary. And then we ended the year with more snowballs on Narshada, so we had a perfectly symmetrical year.
Perfectly balanced is all things should be.
Yes.
Thanos did nothing wrong. Yeah, so we did conquer Balmora, and we've got another Total Galactic War going on right now. A couple more planets were added to Total Galactic War, which is nice for the smaller guilds, because now there's even more options for all the guilds to sort of spread out and get a shot at winning a planet. And right now, I'm happy to say, a couple days into the week, we are invading a small little planet named Quesh, and Alea Acta Est, our Republic side version of our guild, is in the lead. So that is cool. Good job, everybody. I'm hoping we keep it going.
Early in the week. We got to keep focused and pay attention. But
yes. Don't keep your eye on the prize. There, keep looking at the prize, whatever the case may be. Okay. So that was 2018. A lot of stuff in 2018. Let's keep that in mind and go back to what our 2018 predictions were and do a quick look. So we'll leave the sort of the wishes aside, but what were your key predictions, Seema? And then we'll score it up, and we'll see who predicted more and get more points for their predictions. 3
big ones. And then I also predicted that Cephas would show up somewhere, but that didn't happen. I predicted that a new big antagonist would be revealed, and by big antagonist I meant someone to be the enemy that we fought across the whole story of everything, like the Emperor was previously, like Valkorion.
That would potentially carry through to 6.0 and that kind of thing?
Yes. And we may or may not have gotten that.
Yes. So I gave you I was going to give you full credit for that. So you said new big antagonist. I just focused on the big antagonist, and I got, right. And I was saying yes.
Yes. And by new, I meant new in the role. I mean, didn't mean to have to be necessarily a new character. Although at the time, I think I was thinking new. But so we can talk about whether or not he actually is at another time. But I also predicted changes and upgrades to Conquest, which definitely happened. And then I predicted something new for the summer, like the DVL event was, which definitely did not happen. We did have a summer event, the summer of PvP, but it wasn't what I was picturing when I predicted this. I was picturing something, that would consume our time throughout the summer, but like DVL did.
Yeah. So changes, upgrades to Conquest. That's a definite. So 2 points for that. So 2 points for 100% right, 1 point for partial right, and 0 points for 0 points for Cephas, 2 points for that, 1 point for antagonist, 1.5. I think you should score on that one. And then what do you think? Something like the new DVL event was. That's sort of we sort of didn't get that, did we?
Right. No.
Yeah. I wanted that too, I think. Did I have that as... Yeah, I had that as one of my predictions too. So my predictions were new story and expansion at the end of summer. And then sub-bullet under that, new levels. We got new story, but we didn't... I'm going to have to... I gave myself 2 points for that. I'm going to have to back that off to 1 at the most. Maybe even 0.5.
I mean, what is an X-Pack at this point? I think...
I mean, it was kind of an expansion, but it wasn't... Yeah, I mean, it definitely was story.
I still kind of feel like if we don't get new levels, it's not an X-Pack, but that might be a sort of antiquated way of thinking about it.
Right, exactly. I'm wondering if that's... Yeah, our stream levels are all up and down today. Yeah. But we're gonna fix it in post. I also predicted something new and big from the Ball of Crazy. PvE, GSF, mini games, something large-scale PvP, a new class. Wasn't as big, but I think the Rishi Stronghold and sort of the built-in arena.
Yeah, I agree.
That was, I think that should count for partial credit on that.
I think that counts for mini games. It's player-created mini games, but I think it's, I'll give you that.
And then I also there we go. I also predicted a revamp of the Command XP system with a redo or rewrite, but still sort of prestige levels. But I figured that they were going to scrap it and completely redo it, which they did not do. Kind of wish they did that. And in fact, I don't know what's going to happen this year. I don't know if I would still put it on this list. I don't know what they're going to do, but especially if they add more levels, then what are they going to do? So although they're adding more gear tiers right now, but then still keeping tier 4 with this rare chance, as we were sort of saying in our about our lies at the start of the show, about the potential to maybe get 252, 258 gear in CXP packs. I don't know. I think they need to rework that and figure it out. There are ways to do that kind of prestige levels at the end and then still level up within that. ESO does it. I think they need to sort of shift the system to something like that. So I'm giving myself 0 points for that. And then I said a new game event also, which I get 0 points for, but I wish I got points for it, but I don't get any points for that. So I think you predicted more that came out correct than I did. I think I got 2 points and you got 3.
Well, plus I get extra points for predicting the date, the exact date of 5/10.
Yes, which you did. I mean, you didn't predict it at the beginning of the year, but in that run up to 5/10, a month ahead of time, you predicted the exact date on accident. It wasn't even a prediction.
Yeah,
you accidentally said, yeah.
Yeah, and
then stuck with it. So there's that. So that was cool.
I doubled down.
Okay. Let's look at 2019. So if that's 2018, then what are you thinking for 2019, Seema?
Okay. So for 2019, I predict, and don't hate me, 6.0 on October 8th.
On October 8th.
Yes.
So we talked about it a little bit before the show started. Are we doing Price is Right rules on this to see who comes closer? Do I get to pick October 7th then? I won't.
No.
I've got another prediction. If it's actually
Price is Right rules, you'd have to pick October 9th. But anyway.
Well, if I thought it was going to come later. If I think it's going to come
earlier,
in March.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I would pick October 7th.
That's true.
Yeah,
but if you pick, but Price is Right rules, even if you picked July and it came on October 7th, you would still win.
Yes. Yeah. No. Oh, because you can't go over?
Yeah.
Oh, because you can't go over. See, I'm not a Price is Right expert. So, okay. Sounds good.
Continue. I think I think we might see a couple more lair bosses as time goes forward. Possibly in lieu of full operations. I don't know. Like we had the surprise introduction of a lair boss that's on the PTS right now that we didn't know was coming. And then we had throughout the year for Gods from the Machine, we had a boss at a time. And I think maybe with lair bosses, they could do it more often without having to create a whole environment for an operations. Like Gods from the Machine has a very clear idea. It has an art style. It has, Whereas if they did lair bosses, they could do one for every like zone they introduce. So I think that would be maybe not a bad thing for them to pursue.
So we know we're getting Hive of the Mountain Queen.
Yeah.
So your prediction is that they potentially continue down that path, do more of the lair bosses instead of ops content.
And
I don't know.
And I think it would enable them to give us more bosses to fight.
Overall, more bosses?
Yeah, overall more bosses, right.
I don't know. We could end up with, well, what about throwing out a lair with 2 bosses in it then? I mean, to just have one, for them to like put out 5 lairs, which is, I mean, say you have 5 bosses in an operation, to put out 5 lairs this year, that sounds like a lot of work rather than just doing one operation. But if you put out a lair with a couple bosses in it.
Let's say they decided to put a lair boss on Yavin 4. They wouldn't have to create any new, they'd have to create a little sub area for it or put it somewhere, but they wouldn't have to come up with a whole concept.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And like they wouldn't have to do a Terror from Beyond, new place or anything like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Obviously, we hope for full operations, but I'm just kind of predicting. And I always enjoy it as a guild when we go at the end of the night into Taboros Courtyard. I don't know why. It's quick. It's quick. Yeah. I'm also predicting. This is like a soft prediction. Some kind of new style of small group content, like a new iteration of like the Kuat Drive Yards model or Uprisings that is refined in some way so that we like them better. Like I never got into the Uprising, and something, maybe it's only 3 people or maybe it's I don't know. I mean, I'm not the creative genius behind this, but just some kind of new of small content.
Yeah.
Style.
I get what you're saying, and I hope not. I think it was a mistake for them to do Uprisings, and they should have just made them flashpoints and put them in the flashpoint rotation. And
no, I think what they were after with the Uprisings was okay. It just didn't achieve it.
Yeah, but then to have another thing that's not flashpoints and not Uprisings and complicate thing, I don't know.
Maybe. Anyway, so those are my predictions.
That's a good prediction that they might give that another shot and try to come back around on that. That would be interesting. Okay, we'll save the wishes. I'll do my predictions and then we'll get to your wishes. What you wish would happen probably won't. So right. My predictions are, I think 6.0 will come, but I think it'll come in, I said August. I think maybe a little bit later than August, but I'll still go with August. I think I'm going to undershoot it there. But part of that is we're getting Star Wars Celebration in April. That I figured then May, June, July, August, 4 months. Then they've got to be working on it now, although they're working on the lair boss right now. Yeah. So I don't know. So I think 6.0 can't come. I mean, it's certain. I'm afraid if they were like targeting October, then November, December, then we're getting like nothing all year.
Oh no! I'm taking all that into account. I'm not saying that they're going to target October.
Yeah, so you're thinking they're going to target July, August, and slip to October.
Yeah, they could very well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not impossible. The reason I think that 6.0 August also, and I'm pulling 6.0 in a little bit closer, is I don't think they've got like a 5.11 or 5.12 planned. I don't think they've got another story planned between where we're at now and 6.0.
But that's the reasoning there is it'll be earlier because it has to be.
Right. So that's why I'm saying that they've got to pull it in. And I said August to even give them room. And
they may need to, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Yeah. See, I think they need to be targeting June. and then they'll end up in August is sort of where I'm thinking. And then I also said, so this is a prediction of mine, a prelude to 6.0, just like we had the prelude to Shadow of Revan. That's my prediction, is that's where they're going to go with that again. And that's going to start definitely earlier. So cool. That's going to be like the April, May. And that, I think there won't be an operation associated with that, but I think that's where we could see like, you know, a flashpoint or two, and the story will evolve, and we'll figure out where Malgus is going to go next. And I think it's going to be sort of based around that. And I think the intent, I hope, would be to have a bigger splash at Star Wars Celebration, and then to be able to launch that prelude coming out of Star Wars Celebration would be pretty cool. And then my third prediction is a recurring event of some kind. You know, that we've gone years now with just the same events. I think it's time to get another event in the rotation. That's one of those sort of MMO bits. Nar Shaddaa Nightlife was fine. We brought that back. We're doing, you know, repeating over and over again our big three, which are Gree, Wreckle, and Bounty Hunter. I think there's room, and I don't think it's all that much effort. I think they should do it, and I think they need to do it. So that's my prediction, is we're going to have a new recurring event of some kind. Yeah,
because we definitely have room. I mean, we at the current iteration, Gree and Bounty Contract Week and all those, they come frequently enough. Like sometimes you want it wouldn't hurt us for them to come a week later, basically, because I'm just saying there's room to slot a new one in.
Yeah, in the chat room, Forster in the chat room was saying there will be a 5.11. Yeah, I know there'll be 5.11, 5.12, probably multiple things. I mean, this prelude would have to be a 5.12, 5.13, something like that. But I don't think they have like a story chunk, a story arc planned. And I could be wrong, but I don't think they have a story arc planned between now and 6.0, which means that we have to be 6.0 needs to be coming soon. Yeah, I mean, August is not very soon, but that's June target for 6.0 as the target, and then it's slipping to July, August, I think is reasonable. Okay. Safe to say, so the chat room saying safe to say 6.0 won't be released before Celebration. No, I don't think there's any way. Because we don't have Hive of the Lara the Hive of the Queen of the Mountain of the Queen. That's on the PTS right now. That's got to get done, and I would expect Matt is finishing that up, and then he's got to work on, which I hope will be the operation that we'll be launching with 6.0. And I didn't put it in my prediction. I did put it in my prediction. This is a sub bullet, so this doesn't count as the main prediction. But 5 levels is part of 6.0, so there's got to be all of that work that's got to go into it. And then I think Matt's got to be designing, 2 operations this year. So one for the launch of 6.0 and one to come later in the year, probably like the December release of another operation.
I hope
maybe
you're
it's
right.
December, maybe it's January.
And I mean, he did say that the next operation wouldn't be as complex as Gods from the Machine. So maybe that translates into being able to do more.
Right. Or as Seema said, maybe Seema's predictions come through, and maybe we get one operation and we get a couple layers, just like we're getting the Hive of the Lair, the Mountain of the Queen.
And when we were talking about lair bosses in chat, they were mentioning world bosses, and I want no more world bosses. I really hate the world bosses. Lair bosses, please.
Yeah, the world bosses on Osis are, if we could get a group of 8 people together, or get a guild night, do an MFN night, and get a group of 12 people together and go kill those Osis bosses, and they respawn every 15 minutes, then maybe I would really like them. As they stand right now, where I've got to get a pug group and we've got to get 24 people all together, and I have to wait for somebody to be doing it, and a bunch of people are dying and running back, and I know gear level is going to make those easier and easier over time, but they're a little bit messy right now. And it's not.
I just don't.
It's not like the kind of world boss thing.
The game is limited in tagging options. I just don't like the whole groups competing for a spawn of a world boss. It's just.
That's also true. You're right.
It just reduces the amount of content we have available to us, I feel.
Any of that open world stuff is painful right now.
Yeah.
We did our guild night tonight, and we went and we did Scum and Villainy to get a bunch of conquest points. And then we tried to go find some commanders to kill, because there's 5,000 conquest points for killing a commander. It's a one-time thing, but for whatever reason, we went to at least 5 planets worth of commander locations, found a couple shielded ones that we can't, there's only one guild on the whole server that can even bother to get those ones. And then all the other ones were gone. They're not there. They have a long respawn time, but there's people fighting over stuff in that open world, and it's just not very fun. So, yeah.
I know that there's a philosophy about MMOs that when you compete for resources of some sort, then that's a social aspect, but I don't like it.
I don't think it is when when you go to a place and there's nothing there and no one there. So you send one person to go check out map number 4 and see if Trapjaw is up on map. Nope, nothing here. No dead corpse. No people around. There's no social aspect to that.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, the social aspect would be if 2 guild groups were forming at one world boss and they were jockeying for, how sometimes and then you try to, and one group will try to tether the boss so that he resets, and then they try to quickly catch him before the other group does.
Grief the other.
That type of competition, for me, I would just rather go watch TV than do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
exactly.
I don't even have a TV.
And the way we do that is if there's anyone there from another guild and it looks like they're getting people trickling in, we'll never try to pull it away from another guild. We just go and do something else.
Right.
That's not the way we roll. That's not we don't think that's very fair, and doesn't make anyone have a good time.
Right.
Us yanking it away from someone else. Yeah, we would get it done, and then we would feel bad about it, and the other guild would feel bad, and it's just bad all around. Okay. Wishes. What do you wish, Seema? So this is what you think is not a prediction. You think this probably won't happen, but you wish it would, right?
Okay. So I put new event in my wishes.
Okay.
I would like to see a new event. And we already kind of talked about that. I still have all of my wishes from last year because I still want them, but they didn't happen. So one of them, I mention all the time, and people know, is to have a searchable, sortable inventory so that I can find things.
Yes.
But if we can't have that, if that is just too daunting of a task, maybe help a little bit by adding panels for gear similar to collections or decos, where as you acquire pieces or equip them, they go into an interface so that when you're making your outfits, you don't have to keep the actual gear around anymore. Same with maybe like how we do decorations now for strongholds. Just every type of gear would go into a UI panel like decorations do now. Like
a collections interface. Well, and World of Warcraft has that kind of thing with. Well, transmogs work differently the way you end up making them, putting them in the costuming system, and I like that method less. But their collection for every piece of gear you've ever touched, I like that.
Right, and toys and because they have this collection system already. Yeah, you could.
Why can't they extend it?
Yeah, to gear right now, because you can do And I wish everything was collectible, not just stuff from the cartel market too.
Right. I have on my mercenary, I was trying to just clear out bank space. And on my mercenary, I have almost a full bank tab. And most of these guns are 5 years old. A full like at least 2/3 of a bank tab of every single blaster pistol I got as I was leveling up over time and doing PvP and whatever else. I just have them all. And I'm sure there's probably like duplicate skins and all of that, but I never wanted to get rid of them because what if I liked that blaster pistol model at some point in the future?
Right.
If they were stamped in some collection interface, and I could just get them out of the collection interface to put in my costume system for those weapons in the future of some kind. That would save me a whole bunch of space in the bank, for one. And for two, I would do that with more things, and I would keep a copy of everything. And I would potentially be seeking out completing more of these sets. Like, do I have the whatever the latest, the Gemini, whatever? Here, I have the Experimental Osun Super Commando's belt. So this Experimental Osun set, I don't know if I'm going to end up with the full set, but if I could have this set as a collection, if I like completed the set, then I would make sure I do it, because I'm out of space to keep all these sets now. So yeah, I like that idea.
Like Starry Saber just said in chat, I wish dies were in collections even if you can't unlock them. Yeah, I'm not asking. I agree. Like dies would be ideal for it, and I'm not even asking for them to be account wide or unlockable for your other characters. Just a place to store them that's not in my inventory, and then I could find them because I could go to dies, and then I could see all my dies.
Yes. So I'll do one of my wishes now.
Okay.
I will do I would like a build system. So imagine you've got a stronghold, and your stronghold starts as just like a small hut in the middle of a field, and you get in, maybe there's a quest giver, a mission giver in there where you do a bunch of dailies and you contribute mats, and then you can like upgrade that hut, and then it turns into like a building, and maybe there's like 4 or 5 ranks where you can be upgrading that central thing, and then maybe there's like pads around the building where you can add, and you have options. Maybe you can add a garage for mounts, or maybe you can add like a little spa pool area, and
you can learn how to do things like when you're in OS, you do the dailies in OSIS, and you learn how to farm.
Yeah, when you learned how to farm in OSIS, then you maybe unlocks like a farm module, and you can put that into your stronghold. So over the holidays here, I needed a new phone game. I've been playing Stardew Valley. And in Stardew Valley, you've got your little farm, and you upgrade your main farmhouse, and you can add a little barn, and you can add a chicken coop, and you can get the deluxe upgraded, get the deluxe chicken. It's not so much that I want Stardew Valley in Star Wars. It's that I like that kind of, that builds, grow, expand.
Dang it, now I want a chicken coop.
Yeah, a chicken coop.
I definitely want a chicken coop.
And if you get the upgraded chicken coop, then you can add you can get ducks in your chicken coop also.
Duck chicken.
But anyway, I like that sort of that build kind of system. Warcraft had this a little bit in the garrisons in the last expansion. So in the Warlords of Draenor, you had your garrison, and you leveled up your garrison, and you could add and change different elements of your garrison. I like that. I like that kind of system. I like that build, grow, unlock it, contribute over time, have something to work on, have something to build towards. And if the things that you're placing, if the things that you're swapping in and out give you abilities, or give you, say you add some sort of little farming component, and instead of just having one of those little gathering nodes that you can click on once every 4 hours, maybe you're able to like place a group of them, and you're if you unlock that farming component, you're able to farm more of them more often, or something like that. Then that makes it interesting and useful as well. So I don't know. That's one of my little wishes. So there you go.
I mean, one of my wishes is kind of similar. It doesn't build on itself like you said, but I was wishing for a lot more things to collect and ways to collect them. So it kind of builds on what you're saying, is that basically more interesting things to do in the game besides just go after gear.
Yes.
So like more toys, more pets, more region items, more decos. I know there's already a lot of decos, but just more and more and more, and different ways to get them, like by via achievements or by crafting so much, or rare procs from crafting, or rare drops from FPs, uprisings, ops bosses. Like,
yeah,
if we knew that there's a chance that XYZ mounts is a bad choice because there's a lot of mounts that drop from op bosses, but XYZ pet or some kind of toy or whatever, that would inform our decisions when we're trying to decide, do we want to run EV or do we want to run explosive conflict or whatever. Like, let's go do explosive conflict and see if we can't get X. Or I might run more flashpoints if there was a pet, or I don't know.
No, but that's a good point. We used to, remember when they added the Tauntauns in, and you had to go to Hoth and you had to go to the little nests, and it was like a whole thing, and then you got a Tauntaun mount. And then like the Fawn pet, when you get the Ice Scrabbler jerky and the purple magenta crystals. Remember the magenta crystal, the whole thing?
Yes.
In fact, we've done this as a podcast.
It doesn't even have to be complete. I mean, like a designed little, like a quest line, like those were. It's just that
doesn't have to be as elaborate as that. Just more of that kind of stuff in the game.
More stuff out in the world. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not personally very motivated to go do content just to get gear. So I'm just saying, put more stuff out there that's not just gear.
Yeah, that's a good point, and make it. And I think also make it more clear. I mean, I think there are some things out there, like there's some cool stuff that drops off of Isaacs, for example.
Right, and there's decos that drop off of that you get in flashpoints.
Right. So yeah. There's cool stuff in some of the flashpoints, but I forget. And it's maybe it should be like on a daily window, have the, like some sort of guide, the in-game guide that says, OSIS. And remember, rare chance to get the blah, blah, blah mount on the,
or if they had this panel of all the stuff you could get, there would be like a blank, and a blank pet, and it would say drops from XYZ in this boss in this place. And I'd be like, ooh, let's go run that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's make that stuff more apparent, and that will be intrinsic incentive for us to go do this kind of thing. You don't have to have the extrinsic incentive, which is, go run 3 flashpoints because you'll get this reward box for conquest this week. It will be, there's reasons we already want to run those flashpoints because the stuff is in there and it's already sort of built in. That's not exactly intrinsic versus extrinsic, but it's close. All right. So let's see. I'll do another of my wish. We'll do one more of your wishes, and I think we'll wrap it up. So my other one was other one that I really liked the idea was a resurrection of what Ilum was at launch, what the southern half of the PvP area where the Gree stuff happens right now in Ilum is today. Redoing that and making the whole sort of guild v guild kind of thing existing there in Ilum again. I know we can't do this huge battles where we'll have 80 people all fighting it out down there in Ilum. So maybe it can't be as big as that. So maybe smaller than that. Maybe there's non-PvP parts of it where you could be contributing to an objective or running some missions down there, and maybe there's some danger element, or maybe there's a PvP component. Maybe
we can do big pitch battles now, just because just because the infrastructure didn't support it then. I mean,
true. Maybe with the new servers and having a guild control some area and having another guild be able to control some building or node or some kind, and having another guild be able to assault it. That kind of thing I think would be really interesting to get back in the game. And then make that all tie into conquest. So conquest is more active conquering of what's going on there. And then if it really worked out well on Ilum, instead of winning a planet the way we do now, which is you just get a whole bunch of points on the board and then you win that planet, maybe there would be like a little area on the planet where you have a visual representation of how those points are manifesting into a zoned area on that planet of you winning the planet. So then when you're done and you win for that week, you've got like a little fortress there that you are controlling for the next week and that everybody else is going to be assaulting the next time it comes around. I just designed the rest of that in my head.
Yes. I want to play Stardew Valley too.
All right. That's not a Stardew Valley thing. That's more like an ESO Cyrodiil kind of thing. Take over a keep, take over a castle, and then another guild has to come along, whether you're there or not, and they can assault that castle or keep and take it away from you. Or like Eve, where you hold territory. And in Eve, when you hold territory and someone else wants to come assault it, it's a multi-stage assault, and these timers start to tick down. So if they come in, they do their first half of their assault, then there's like a 24-hour timer, and both you and they know that timer is going to expire in 24 hours. So you can go there then and stop them on their second half of their assault, kind of thing.
So I mean, I like the idea of like pitched battles or more PvP, but the idea of holding stuff and defending it just sounds like kind of an administrative nightmare. Like
it is, and then there's a lot of alarm clocking and that kind of thing. But maybe not the alarm clocking end of it, but so maybe it's AFK assaults, or it's non-active. It's passive defense by the defending guild, but equivalent to what happens on the leaderboard of Conquest right now.
Yeah.
You're basically fighting it out that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Corley says, not like Eve, please. Yeah.
All right. And what's your final,
my final one, let's see. I'll pick from my list here. Okay. I guess I'll say this one. I would like to see them resolve the story splitting because it's making me very anxious. So by that I mean, and we've talked about this sort of ad infinitum already, but what I mean is stop killing off characters for some people and not for other people. And I want to see us come together in like a cohesive, compelling story, not these like ever increasing options that everyone's going to get end up with a different story. I mean, yes. Okay. You know what I mean? So I guess yes. I don't need to argue about it anymore.
And I agree. So this was a theme that we talked about some this year. I'd love to work, but it's something we're bad podcasters, but we should call up Charles Boyd and get him on the show and hash this out with him, because I agree. This, we were talking, was it on the show or with the chat room or before the show? Theron Shan. Is Theron Shan alive or dead? Apparently he's dead for some people. So so that means a couple things. It means he's dead for everybody forever. We can never have Theron Shan as a major part of 6.0 as part of the story, because for some people he's dead. That's I don't like that. And yes, it makes me anxious. And we had a whole podcast about who's the emperor. I don't know. And maybe for your emperor is not the same as my emperor. And RP guilds have to work around it and work through this. And
it's one thing that, some people have Vet as a companion and some don't. But when it's like the emperor is different for different people, it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's not like you've chosen to marry someone or not. It's, who is the emperor? Jeez. So, yeah, I think you're right. And having that as a wish, I think is more than reasonable. I think it's something that needs to happen to get things back to to get us back to a reasonable, stable state and out of this uncertainty Schrodinger universe that we live in, and have us all set to progress into the future in a cohesive way. All right, I agree. All right, well, that was a lot. That was us going through all of 2018, all of 2019, what our predictions were last year, what our predictions are for this year, what our wishes are. And 12 months from now, we'll be back here and we'll see what we got right and what we got wrong. And we hope you are all there with us. And I think with that, we'll take our EPC 273 droid here, kick him out on airlock to broadcast this podcast to all of you. Please keep up with us this year in 2019 on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA. And if you know any cool people that should be playing with us, like in our guild event coming up later this month, tell them to check us out. They can check us out on the podcast here on newoverlords.com. They can check us out on twitch.tv/newoverlords. They can check us out on YouTube on the New Overlords channel. They can come find our guild on Starforge. We are at aie-guild.org, and you can get our guild Discord there. You can jump in Discord and ask us for a guild invite, and we'll get you taken care of on either the Republic side or the Imperial side. We play on both. And we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.